Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Continuing with the theme of homosexuality being tolerated and given a wink and a nod within the daily operation of many parishes and dioceses, now comes a report from the state of New Jersey, played up of course by the secular media, of a poor innocent homosexual victim being abused by the mean old Catholic Church. We've attached a link on this page to the CBS station's story with a video of their news story embedded in that article. You have to watch the video to hear the key issue. But first, quick background. St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Church in Newark has had an openly homosexual choir director for years by the name of Bob Russell. This is an immediate issue right there, that he has been there for years, and everyone knows about Bob. A new priest comes to the parish and begins preaching Catholic doctrine about homosexuality and the need for chastity, etc., and Russell feels that a hostile work environment has now been created. And here's the key point. He tells the priest in person that he is living in a homosexual relationship, and the priest tells him that he isn't a good role model for an eventual children's choir the priest wants to begin. So Russell quits. Now, there's no scientific sampling that was done that we know of or formal survey of parishioners, but the news report goes on to quote a few of them who say that they don't think it's a big deal, a kind of who cares attitude. This story highlights a number of issues that are widespread in the contemporary church. First, notice that this has been going on for years, decades, in fact. Second, it doesn't seem to bother the people in the pew, at the very least, some of them. Third, the problem only surfaces once Catholic truth is preached. This is a microcosm of the entire problem the church has these days and why the question of tolerance of homosexuality and its accompanying behavior is such a hot-button topic. For decades and decades, essential truths of the faith have been dumbed down, not preached, or outwardly rejected by huge numbers of people in leadership roles in the church, meaning largely the clergy, not exclusively, but largely. The diminution of the faith after all these years has so penetrated the pews that many of the few who still go to Mass each week, remember that number is less than 1 in 4 or less all over the Western world. These people simply have no concept of even some of the most basic truths of the faith. They've been slammed over the head for so long with nothing but bad preaching about tolerance and charity and have sat through thousands of Masses rife with liturgical abuse that what was once considered unimaginable is now the norm. But that was then. What about now? Well, any fair assessment has got to admit that there is no sense of urgency among the bishops whatsoever about any of this. Absolutely, there are some brave men here and there who are bishops willing to stand up and face down the homosexual juggernaut, but those bishops are the exception. In diocese after diocese, painfully little is stressed in any meaningful way to seminarians, for example, about the need to lead their future sheep to the truth regarding sexual morality, homosexual or otherwise. Nothing is done, as some of the largest dioceses in the world either sponsor or support, or at the very least turn a blind eye to the horror of so-called gay masses. Now consider this for a moment. Priests who exercise their ministry among active homosexuals, telling them and encouraging them in lives of evil, then go back to their parishes. It's not only a fair question, but a question that must be asked. If they are counseling some in their care that sin is all right in one area, what are they counseling others in their care with regard to other sins? And here's even more troubling of an aspect. That these Masses go on is absolutely known to chancery officials. That openly homosexual men and women have moved in great numbers into such positions of influence on a parish level, like music and liturgy directors and religious ed ministries, is also well known. Leaders in the church know this very well. They know because faithful Catholics send them letters. They know this because the chatter and gossip that goes on among chancery personnel and their families and other parishioners. They know this because news reports pop up frequently in the press. They know this because modernists in the church openly promote it. And with all this knowledge, it is simply allowed to continue. The question is why? And it's a real good question. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.